When we were real young, our dad went to prison for murder, and our mom was a drug addict. We really only had each other.
No, I knew my mother was sick, you know. I knew she was sick with the drugs and the partying, you know. She would be gone for months at a time, and it would be me, my brother, my sister, just never there at all. I remember sitting on the top of the roof and just pinching myself. I just wanted her to come back, just kept on pinching myself till she came back, you know, and she never, you know, came back.
I went into foster care when I was 10 years old. I used to come here to get away. The foster parents were never really nice to me. They were always yelling. I think a lot of people take their homes for granted.
The home that adopted me, they were just nasty people. The emotional that, you know, the emotion kids need, like love, you know, and I never had that from them.
You really just stop asking why. Because it really doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything.
I truly believe that we do have to step up for our children, especially the ones that are abused and neglected. And if we don't do it, who's going to do this?
Our program is known as CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocate. This is a rather fancy name for specially trained community volunteers who are appointed by our judges who act in the best interests of our children. They will have someone to depend upon, someone who will care about them, someone who will speak on behalf of them in court, looking out for their best interests, making sure their needs are met, someone who will have their back.
One of the reasons I got into this is because of one of my students that I had. He came into the class, bright young man, at 9 years of age, living in a car. Those are the kind of things that break your heart. You have to look at that and say, what can I do? So I literally spent 3 years with Ricky doing what I could do, taking him places, visiting the home. I had no power because at that point I was just doing this on my own. He bounced back and forth between an aunt. Mother was addicted to drugs. The caseworker was overloaded, so nothing ever really got done as far as services. And eventually, you know, Ricky did not make it. And he is in prison now. And I vowed when I saw that in the paper, that was not going to happen again. I couldn't let that happen again.
A child in the system will sometimes have 4 and 5 caseworkers, several therapists, several foster care placements, several schools. Caseworker is only obligated to see the child once every 4 weeks, an attorney once every 3 months. For those of us who are parents, a lot can happen, we know, during that period of time, educationally, socially, emotionally. A child with a CASA volunteer is going to be seen an average of 3 to 4 times a month.
When I met Marlene, I just remember a genuine, you know, kind person. I never had that in my life, so it was just a surprise. I would do stuff for Marlene, like go to the library, bowling, out to eat, to beaches, all kind of stuff. Stuff that I never experienced in the situation that I was in, living with my mother.
It's been working great with Jay. We've known each other now for 2 years. And after the initial acquaintance of getting to know him and him getting to know me, we have been able to develop a very good, strong relationship.
When I seen his gray hair, I thought he was old. Well, he is old, but I thought he was really old. But he still had a young soul. Gary is really fun. He's funny. He's a cool guy. Yeah, I really think that Gary looked out for me. He really cared about me, and other people who was related to me didn't really care, but he really stuck by my side.
I was able to help Jay out of the bad foster situations because as a CASA volunteer, we are given a fair amount of power with the court. And when I was first going into the home, I suspected some things were going wrong. Sometimes it's not always easy to see it. When you go into the home, you're almost going in as a detective. You have to really look what's the environment is, what's going on, how the parents, foster parents, are interacting with the child. We got with his lawyer and also with the agency that had placed him there. Sat down and had a meeting. I brought to the table what evidence I found, and we insisted that he get moved. That was in the court report, and we got him moved fairly quickly out of that situation.
The judges place a lot of value in our reports because we're an independent voice, and they know our only objective is the best interest of the child.
Diana was the reason that I got to see my sister on a regular basis, because she told the judge in the report that it was important for my sister and I to see each other.
Marlene was a mother figure that I never had, so she definitely has influence of where I am today.
If we don't break the cycle of abuse and neglect, the chances of these children winding up in prison becomes large in their life. Homelessness is always a reality out there for them. And I think we have to look at this and say, what would we want for our own children? And that's what these children deserve. They deserve the best life possible.
I treat my children the way I wanted to be, treated when I was young. With love, respect, discipline, just there for my kids.
A place to come to and feel comfortable and feel safe. And I'm so thankful to be able to say I have that.
I'm currently enrolled at Grand Valley State University, and I'm majoring in music education, and someday I really hope to be a music therapist.
CASA changes the look of a community. In the schools, you see higher test scores, higher graduation rates, and fewer incarcerations. The effects are far-reaching. You save a child today, and it strengthens a community tomorrow. There's no better investment than this in our community.